touch some of the scripting concepts. We have done most of the administrative and those components which are related to application development. That's all done. So we now intend to touch base on the database concepts and the scripting concept, how to interact with database, how to do different activities on the form, how to put validations, etc. So we'll be doing that, right? If you remember, we have already done a couple of scripts like UI policy. We have already done that. UI actions we have done, and client script we have done, right? But we'll be seeing these components, these scripts in more detail from now on. Uh, from now on, when we start scripting, right? So, so we have created several tables within ServiceNow, right? Let's take one example, one table. For example, if I go to the marketing event application, I have 13 records in this marketing event application table right now. Okay. Now, if it is a Oracle database or MySQL database where you have, let's say, the table name that you have is marketing events, right? So, if you have to fetch out all the records from the table, marketing events, what do? Right? In the database, you write some sort of query. Query like select star from something like this, don't you? Right? You will write select field 1, comma, field 2 from marketing events. You may write something like this, right? So this one gets you all records from the marketing event table. This will get you all records from the table, but it will show only field 1 and field 2, right? This one will show only qualifying records from the table, marketing events, and the qualifying criteria is the field 3 value should be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then it fetches values from the table and shows field 1 and field 2 out of that. Okay, so this way you have some database operations that you perform on, let's say any database environment. You use PL SQL or Transact SQL or MySQL to write your SQL queries, and then you run and fetch out data from the database. But how do you do that in ServiceNow? Do you have a mechanism in ServiceNow that will allow you to fetch out data from database, right? Because we'll need that, right? We'll need that programmatically sometimes to do different activities on ServiceNow application, provide different features. You will like to access databases and get information from the database, insert into the database, update the database for a particular record, etc. Right? In database, in SQL language, for inserting something into the database, you'll do something like, insert into marketing events, values, something like this, 1, 2, 3. If you have 3 fields, and here will be the field names. Field 1, field 2, and field 3. So this will insert a record in the table. If you have to update it, update table marketing events set field 3 is equal to 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, where field 3 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So some sort of update statement, right? So we are capable of writing select queries, we are capable of writing insert queries, we are capable of writing update queries. You can also perform delete operation. Something like this, right? Now within ServiceNow, we'll try to find out ways by using which we can either select records from the table, insert records into the table, update records into the table, and delete records into the table from the table, right? So in order to achieve that, you have a very good class already provided in ServiceNow, and the class is known as live record, right? This is the class, glide record class. This glide record class will provide you all what you need to interact with the database. When you go to wiki and search glide record, it defines it as glide record is a special Java class that can be used in JavaScript exactly as if it was a native JavaScript class. Now, it is used for database operations instead of writing SQL queries. So these SQL queries, we don't have to write it anymore in ServiceNow, right? And glide record is an object that contains 0 or more records from the table. Another way to say is that a glide record is an ordered list. Okay? Now see, use this API to query the database, get the values from the database, set some values into the database, update, insert, and delete. Right? Let's go ahead and see. Before we do that, I'll tell you there is a very good, elegant way of practicing scripts. Right? If you go to the navigation pane, right, and then within the system definition, you have a scripts background. This script background is a console area where you can write your own scripts, and using this window, you can even fire some background scripts, right? You can execute your script that you have written, and then you can see the output of it as well on the screen, right? So this is kind of an editor for you. We'll be using this, okay? Now, how would you use the glide record class? So there is a proper syntax for that. You have to write, for example, we make gr variable that contains an object of glide record class, and within the glide record you have to supply the name of the table. For example, if I supply the incident table and we want to query records from the incident table, right? So we are doing var gr is equal to new glide record of incident table. So this defines that you are going to refer incident table, right? This is an identification only. Next is to query the database. Using this gr variable that you created just now, you can now query the database Querying this database will get all the records from the incident table, right? Since we have not provided any qualification criteria like we did here, the qualification criteria was field is equal to field 3 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Since we have not provided any qualification criteria right now, it will fetch out all the data, all the records from the database, right? Now let's do something to see how we can print out the values that we just retrieved from the database. So for that, I'll put a while loop and I'll do gr.next. Next is a method available in this glide record class that will keep on iterating until the last record from the database dataset is reached, right? So it will keep on traversing from the first record to the last record, right? Now let's do one thing. GS is a class which is glide system, and we'll do gs.print to show what it has in this. And if you go into the incident table, I'll quickly go to that. Sorry. I'll go to the incident table and I'll show you the list of columns available. See, these are the columns available. Let's first go ahead and print the number field, right? So I'll do gs.print, which will print the records from this data set that we are creating on the screen. But on the screen, what do you want to print? So I'll print from the gr variable. I'll try to fetch out the value of the number field. So I'll write gr.number. So this will print. See, this is how you comment within your code. With a double slash, you put your comments. So these comments will not be executed. The compiler will ignore it, right? The rest of the lines, the rest of the statements will get executed. So I'll quickly copy this, and then I can hit this run script to see what it does. See, when I do that, it prints out all the records from the table, right? It prints out all the incident numbers from the table. See, let's sort it. It starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes to 66. If I go back and simply put a counter here, I equals to 0, and within this I do I plus plus. This is a counter, and when it is done, I'll put gs dot print I. And let's do something like this. So this will print the number of records printed. See, it shows 66. So it means that when we wrote this script, we got 66 records, and using this while loop, we are iterating through all the 66 records and printing the value of number field on the screen, right? Now using this script background console that you have here, you are just seeing it here. But now this script can be used anywhere within your application that you have created, right? For example, you may have different requirements. For example, if you are asked to look into the incident table and find out, the short description of an incident with a particular incident number, right? So runtime programmatically, you have to find out the short description or description of the incident with a particular incident number. So how will you do that, right? So you, during the runtime, you will be executing the piece of code like this, where you have that qualification criteria entered, and that will fetch out records from the table, and then that will be displayed there wherever you have that piece of script written, right? So the first basic glide record script is to get records from the table, and we are doing that. We are getting the records from the table. We are getting the number field from the table and displaying it here. What if you want to have a short description as well? So I can go ahead and put something like short description equals, and then I'll put gr. This is how you refer to the field that has come into this database, the data set. Because GR is a data set now. You query the table, incident table, and retrieve all records from the table into this GR variable. So GR is a data set, and now you have to refer to the short description field from that GR data set. Okay, let's do that. Let's see. See, it now says incident number this and short description can't read email, and this. That's from API. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's from API. Can't read email, unable to get network shares. This way you get your description field, right? So we really need to look into few things on this script. I'll take this script right from here on the notepad, and then I'll do it. Let's decorate this a little bit. See, this is where you identify which table to refer to, right? So refer incident table. This is when you query the whole database without any qualification criteria. This is just a counter. Okay, and then loop through the data set retrieve. Okay, this statement is to increment the counter, right? And this is print the well. This is for printing, right? So I'll get rid of this. This is simple print counter. Any question, any confusion, doubt, let me know. This is important to understand. This is the basic one, the simplest one. So we must understand each and every word of it. Tell me. Simple, easy. Everybody understood it?
Rahul, can you repeat that for me, please, once again?
Yeah. So you have this incident table, right?
Sometimes this data is enough.
You have this incident table, and using glide record, you want to get records from this table, right? All the records from the table. Now we know that we can do that using glide record. Glide record is a scripting scripting class that you have. So this is some variable. You can put any variable name like, ABC or something. I am doing GR because GR signifies glide and record. So GR is glide record, and we are referencing to the incident table now. Once you reference that, you are querying that. Querying is to query the database, right? Query the table, query the incident table. You just query it. When you query it, it means that you brought 66 records from the table into this GR variable. Now this GR variable contains 66 records, right? So this is with you now. This is within memory that you get 66 records. Now you are looping through all those 66 records and printing those values on the screen. That's it, right? Let's simplify that for you. What if I say I don't want all the records, I just want to see the short description of the record which contains this one, this incident number, right? So there is one method available known as gr.addQuery, and then within the add query you have to provide the field name and the value name. The field name is number, and on the number field we want to put this, right? Let's go ahead and run this script. So I'll go back, update the same script here, and try to run it. See, this time it prints just one record because we supplied a qualification criteria for it. And the qualification criteria is it should only fetch out the record that has the incident number is like this, right? This incident number, right? The rest of the things, it is going to print the number, incident number, and the short description. That's what you're getting here. The incident number is INC003, and short description is wireless access is down in my area. See this? You get it?
Yes.
So this is one of the qualification criteria, right? If I go back, redo the same step, and comment this. So this time, you are removing the qualification criteria, so you are going to get all the records from the incident table. You don't know how many records are there. So it will print all the 66 records, right? Okay. So we did one glide record, fetched out all the records from the table. We did another glide record script and fetched out just a single record from the table based upon certain criteria. Now let's go back and see some more things. I'll quickly go to refer to some of the scripts that I have already written. Okay. Another example that I have here is, let's change this thing. I'll copy this one, go here, paste it. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm referencing the incident table, change the variable from GR to target, and within this dataset that I'm going to get, I'm putting a query which is priority is equal to 1, and then I'm doing target.query, right? So this is when you fire the query. After you have queried that, let's go ahead and print the records that have come within the data set. Right, so I'll write target.next, right, while target.next, and then I'll print js.print, and I'll do, instead of gr, I'll do target.number, right, and it will print the numbers that qualify there. So some 10-15 records come as a result of what we did. Let's go ahead and filter out these values. This is what we are doing. Priority is equal to 1. When I run it, I get 20 records, 25 records. Let's go ahead and see if we have 25 records here. Again, I'll put a counter, increment it, and when I get out of the loop, I'll print the counter. That should give you 25 records. Okay? Right? So the variable name doesn't matter. You have to refer to the variable names appropriately, and you will be able to get the data from the database. Right? This gs.print is to print on the current screen. You might not require this all the time, right? So this is just to show the results of the script that you have written. Okay? Let's go ahead and see some more scripts. What if you have to put greater than condition? See, in this code, I'm trying to get all the records where priority is greater than 1. Go to the filter here. Priority is greater than 1 and run it. I get 41 records out of it. Let's go back. Simple things. Where target is equal to new client record on incident, target.add query, and the query is priority is greater than 1. And then you are issuing the query statement, target.query. You get the data set filled here, and then you do while target.next. Let's put a counter so that we see how many values we actually retrieved. Then I'll do a plus plus, and then I'll do it gs.print just to show the fields that are retrieved, target.number, and I'll submit it. And then we have to put the counter as well, gs.print, and then I'll have this I value here. Sorry. See, it is now giving you 41 records. And 41 is what you get here on the screen. So here on the screen you are getting these records basis some of the reports that we have, the list of records we have here, the out of the box thing. But programmatically, this is how you do that. You write your script and then get data from the database. Okay? Let me know if you have any doubt. See, there are other operators available. Let's do each one of these. I'm going to replace this one. Priority is equal to 1. It will print all the values
I have a
that...
question.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So at what point do you use this script? If I know to the user they can use the out of the box um, design here to do it. So you as a developer, um, at what point do you and how do you save it so that you can be using them?
Okay. Let's refer to this form, incident form. We are on the incident form right now, okay?
Yeah.
You see these two buttons, submit and resolve incident?
Yeah.
If your manager asks you to put a new button here which says send notification to all callers, or simple send notifications, but you want to send notification to caller of this email, this incident, okay, by that button.
Mm-hmm.
So what you'll do is you'll go to UI action, create a new UI
Mm-hmm.
action, name it as send notification, use it as form button.
Okay.
We are not writing any script, but this is the script that you will have to supply to that notification button. So you submit this one.
Okay.
When we go back, we should now be able to see the send notification button, right?
Mm.
But remember, your manager asked you to send notification to the caller, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right now, if you do send notification, this is not going to do anything because this does not have any function,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go to UI action, get send notification. Within the script, what you'll do, I'll go ahead and do where gr is equal to new like something like this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really very vague example, but I want to let you know that this is how you could do, right? So here you can query the database, get the name of the people, get the name of the person, the caller person. Within during runtime, you will get the name of the person who is in the caller list, and then you can somehow trigger a notification using the script. Make sense? So you are adding actions and behaviors to your form by doing different steps. By writing this button, right? Or let's say I'm going to change this one. Let's say I want to put a button here that will give you total incident count. So I'll change this, send notification to incident counts,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll go ahead and let's do it in form of an alert button. Something like this. It says some error is there. Line number 9. Let's go back to the incident form. Uh-oh. And the incident count. It's not alerting. Um, wait a second. I'll see. It should have. It's not printing here. Let me quickly refer to some UI actions and see how the script has been written. So like these.
Mr. Bravo, I may have to leave you around 9:30, which is 3 minutes.
Okay.
Go and pick up my mail.
Yeah, we are anyway going to wind up this session right now.
Okay.
I'm just trying to make it
Okay.
work for you and show the output. But
Okay.
let me see if it is able to do that. Save it. Paste new. I'll make it work. I'll see why it is not working. Maybe I'm not doing the right thing. Maybe I'm not getting the correct statement there for printing the records. Right. So I'll look at it. But the idea is that in during runtime you will need uh, these kind of programming abilities where you can refer to the database and get values from the database there, and then use that value to print or do some calculations based upon the returns that you get from the data. Okay.
Okay.
So in each of
All
these
right.
components, like this UI action, if you are on the form, on the same form, we have different other components. See, you will have business rules, can script, UI policy, data policy, UI action. You might use these components where you will require the glide record to be fired, and the scripts we just practiced will be used there. Okay.
Okay.
I'll try to make
Thanks.
some examples and show you how we use those examples in some of the applications that we have created or the applications already created. Okay.
Okay.
Let
I
me
will
know if
see you.
sure.
Mhm. We'll get the recording right. So
Right.
if I missed, okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Let me know if you have questions. Abhi, Shweta, or Vikrant.
I'm fine.
Thank you, Sam.
Yes,
You
sir.
may
I'm
be.
good, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Shweta has no questions. Vikrant.
Rahul, is this a JavaScript or complete Java? Actually, I'm not familiar with coding, so I'm a bit
This is this is
confused
this
about
is
this.
JavaScript. You can use it as use this as a simple JavaScript anywhere
Okay.
within your code. So this is JavaScript.
Okay. Okay.
See, it says the first line says it can be used in JavaScript exactly as if it was a native JavaScript class, right? So consider this as a JavaScript, nothing else.
Yeah. Okay, Rahul.
Okay. So I think that's pretty much for today.